as of late in this patch and I guess the last couple of patches ever since Boston. They've been having some rough times. We'll see if this Nature's Prophet is going to work out. First pick is definitely a hero that, again, you can kind of counter. Queen of Pain is okay at dealing with the Nature's Prophet. As far as mid lane heroes are concerned, you can probably do better, i.e. Storm Spirit. We see Mouse Sports, though, with their bans, really trying to protect this Nature's Prophet as much as possible. Clockwork, with the scouting and the hookshot, of course, and Puck, I guess, for the exact same reasons, with the Puck's orb and just general mobility. We'll try to protect the Nature's Prophet and his mobility in the late stage of the game as much as possible. And then, of course, you have the advantage of trying to gank around in the early phase, not on a Queen of Pain. That's probably not going to work. Sniper Courier, though, you could turn a mediocre lane matchup into a great one. They want to put like a Ember Spirit type hero, a hero that will struggle a little bit versus Quap in that mid lane. You can see Penta are concerned with that mid lane as well. DK as well as the Lina, I think those two have in common is that, well, they have dragon spells, but more importantly, they hit towers really well. Shadow Fiend, probably the other hero that
10 seconds
God, I'm dying.
remaining.
That hits towers really well, but the kind of trade-off of that is that the lane experience of a Shadow Fiend is not quite as clean versus a Quap, Witch Doctor, and potential third hero, 4th position that's going to be roaming in to that mid lane as well. Shadow Fiend is very, very killable in that regard. Do want to protect this Quap as much as possible, lock down this advantageous mid lane, and I mean, it is becoming more and more like that nowadays in Dota. And speaking of locking down mid lanes, we have ourselves a doozy right here, both of them really. Riki and Spirit Breaker going to be picked up. So the supporting cast is done. We're going to check those off. Mouse Sports, MNT, definitely the Riki player, right? The one who plays Riki.
5 seconds.
So he's very comfortable with the hero. The concern is that you'll need some power in those lanes if you're actually going to get kills. Rubik is kind of a soft hero, as is Nature's Prophet. Like, if you're actually going to be playing aggressively with a Riki, then you kind of want to have a Quap or a Lina or someone who can really just pound it in when you actually go for those ganks. Rubik and Nature's Prophet aren't really those type of heroes. They will have that smoke screen, which is going to be absolutely incredible versus the Queen of Pain in the later stages of the game. I mean, silence in general is smokescreen is definitely underrated. I mean, it's not a stun, but it is a huge zoning tool, and if they're sitting in it with the mischance and the silence, yeah, things get pretty bad pretty quickly. But I want to see where this damage is going to come from for Mouse Sports. I mean, Riki is a hero that really relies on his allies in that regard, unlike the Spirit Breaker, who does a little bit more damage typically than the Riki, and is able to kind of more confidently chase down heroes just being as tanky as he is. He doesn't really need all that much extra damage. He will have a Queen of Pain in some situations to help him out in that regard as well. So Penta definitely needs a little bit less so than the Mouse Sports side. OD pick up here for Mouse. Mostly just looking at that mid lane matchup, I would assume. If your plan really is to just be killing off towers, OD doesn't really do it all that well. He doesn't really have any way of increasing his right-click damage versus towers through normal builds. Like, I guess if you steal a lot of intelligence from a one-team fight, you make it pretty hard, but that's not really gonna happen all that often. So they're just looking at the matchups, and at this point, you look at Mouse Sports draft, and you're like, okay, fine. Not sure why the Nature's Prophet is there, though. It does seem like that kind of outlier at this point. They could have had a pretty ordinary-looking draft if you just, well, I guess, grabbed that Darkseer first phase. Darkseer Rubik, I'd be completely on board with that. Nature's Prophet, I'm still not convinced. I'll need a little more. Hopefully Mouse Sports will give me that reason, but, I mean, while I'm kind of questioning the offlane of Mouse Sports, you look at Penta, and they have bread and butter. and
10
is a hero that
seconds
is,
remaining.
I guess, a little bit more difficult to counterpick in the landscape.